Okay, we want to go into our lesson for today. And I've titled it, Flipping Focus. I want us to take a moment and think about this title, Flipping Focus, and think about you being the totality of divine and having some situations where in the past where you would have flipped the focus and created a better outcome for yourself. And maybe for one thing or the other you did not. And you have an awareness that you have the power to do this. And if that situation presents itself again, what would you do? How would you handle the situation? From a place of knowing of who you are, and a place of knowing who you have come here to be, from all that you've learned and you've also heard, how would you act if a situation you thought about presents itself again? So imagine you are watching a movie and you are really into it, and suddenly the scene shifts, presenting a whole new perspective. That happens with movies. That's the magic of movies. But tonight, I'm going to suggest that you could do the same thing. Just the way the movie just shifts to a different thing, you can also do the same thing. You have that power, you have that control, you have that access to change the direction. You can do the same thing. Or you may picture yourself in a bustling city, crossing through familiar streets. And out of the blues, you're curious and you decide to take a different path. And when you do that, you discover hidden pathways, buildings, vistas, and interesting things you've never seen before. Just because you are curious, you decided to follow a different pathway. This new route shows you different, wonderful part of the city you hadn't seen before. Because you changed direction, you decided to try something different, a different route from your normal route. I'm sure wherever you are, you can do that even when you're walking or driving. Or in New York City, there are so many times maybe you're caught up in traffic and you decide to go through another route. That happens with us often. That's what it is when we talk about flipping focus. Changing the direction. If the direction does not seem good or it's not good, you can change it. It's about changing the lens through which you, me, view situations. It's especially useful when we are talking about maybe negative situations. We're always talking about this lens, the perspective from which we approach life. And that is very fundamental to this teaching, these classes, because we always would want to consider our perspective in every situation. Are you coming from that side of all is well, I'm supplied and supported, only good would come? Are you coming from that, oh pity me, everything is out to get me, I'm almost giving up hope? But whichever way, we know, because of our connection, we're always talking about this alignment with divine. And when we have alignment, there is a flow. Because of this oneness we have with the great one, we have that power. And we can always flip the focus. So making a decision to turn it around and have a positive viewpoint, again, that is something that we know that we have. Most times, it's a situation that we don't quiet ourselves to remember who we are and come from that place when we are faced with situations. It's not an easy thing, but that is the work we do. That is the work of the practitioner. We practice to always see the good. So as you tune into our classes and listen to these truths, the principles, what happens is we raise our consciousness. It's knowledge, information, wisdom. As we apply it, we come from a raised consciousness, and we want to always remember and operate from that level and realize that we can see things in a different way. That is operating with that new lens, coming from that place of connection, from that place of knowing that all is well. Again, if you remember the first step of affirmative treatment, it gives us this clue. If we daily recognize and realize that we are one with Source, that's enough for us for any day, any lesson. To recognize and realize our oneness with Source, the originator of everything. You're connected to it. That's enough for everybody to boldly walk into a situation, because you're coming from a place of knowing, a place of clarity, a place that assures you that out of any situation, only good would come. It takes practice. A place where you see everything cloudy, not working well, but you're out looking out for the good, because there's good in every situation. It's a powerful statement, a recognition and a realization of who you are, or who you are connected with, or who you are one with. You're so dovetailed with that Source that there is a flow, there's an alignment, always, 24/7. So, and we always talk about taking time out, pausing, and understanding. Sometimes you get into an understanding, awareness, or information. You need to just pause a little and process it and digest it. You don't ever think you're alone. You are one with all the powerful Source. You are one with it. So imagine that knowing and going into a situation. You're going into a situation and you know that victory is already assured. That the thoughts of the universe for you are thoughts of good and never, never of bad. You're knowing that you're coming to an expected end in every situation. That's a powerful statement, a powerful understanding. Then we are able to come from that place like we know that all is well. So you see things as they unfold, and you're nodding your head. I know who I am. I know who I'm connected to. I know it's working out for my own good. And when we do this, we trust the process of life, and when we talk about this process of life, it's like this. It goes up, it comes down, but fundamentally, the constant thing, it's perfect, unfolding for your own good. In all situations. And when we know this, then we can flip anything that is happening. Oh, I know this is happening. I know I'm not feeling well. But I trust for everything to unfold perfectly. I'm flipping my focus. You begin to either listen to things that will give you life, positive things. Or you can also call it change focus. If there are things that you're listening that are not positive, you can change it. Just change the station. We can do that to change to something great and uplifting. Always. Again, it's not automatic, it's practice. We keep practicing. You do it this way, you get it this way, you practice again, you keep practicing. Practitioners practice, that's what we do. And what do we practice? We practice seeing the good, we practice flipping the focus, if you will, towards seeing that you are supplied and supported, not that you will be supplied and supported. It's already done. Our faith will bring it into action, into place. I am whole, I'm complete, it's done already. It's for us to come into that demonstration. It's done in the mind of God. You might be used to seeing the cup as being empty or half full, but when we flip focus, we are wanting to see it as full or half full. When we flip focus, it does not just affect how we see things, it also affects how we say things. It's also, you're flipping focus, you're also saying things from that place of knowing and faith. You're calling those things that are not there as though they were, supplied and supported. It's done. So you call it into being. Remember, you have the creative powers like the universe. So you can create things from nothing. We can create, we have those powers. And that is seeing the good in every situation. Then when we do this, we're going to start to experience and see entirely new outcome in our life. Always. Always, because that is a state of being that is creative. That is a state of being that has aligned you with the divine. It's whole, it's complete. Again, it happens that sometimes we feel overwhelmed. We have challenges, demands that make us feel down, drained, sick, sad, stuck. One thing, again, we'll always let you know is during these times, we must take the best care of ourselves. That's another reason and another important aspect of our Thursday classes. We always talk about self-love. Love yourself, accept yourself, just the way you are. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself more than ever. Pamper yourself. You did the best you could. Try one more time. Do it again. You are not a failure. It was just an experiment, and you learned from that experience. Be kind to yourself. And in this teaching, we know that these challenges, obstacles, listen to this carefully, are detours to our demonstration if we stay the course. So in those challenging times, in those difficult situations, there are hidden treasures in it that you will get to find, I will get to find if we stay the course. If we keep our focus stayed on divine, if we keep our channel of alignment clear. Because it's like we say, it's almost singing to the choir. I mean, this is what it is. The challenges are not there to kill us or destroy us. It's there to take us to a higher level. But we have to go through it to get to that level. And how do we go through it? When we flip the focus, when we keep our focus, our mind stayed on the divine. And sometimes in this situation, we are guilty of self-sabotage. We must pull ourselves from this deepest resource to nurture ourselves during tough times. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Eat good food, eat well, rest well, exercise as much as you can. But fundamentally, we wanting you to know that you can turn the tables at any time, in any situation, in all situations that you don't like the outcome, what you're seeing. You can direct your attention towards the good and the greater good rather than dwelling on regrets or the fairness issues. Sometimes we just go, oh, it's not fair, it's not right, and this, that, and that. And the mentality that life is out to get me. Oh, that always happens. There's always an orchestration to pull me down. Or they're always ganging up to pull me down. And that everything and everyone seems to be against you. That's not true. That's playing really, really very low. And that's not what this teaching is about. We are rising above. We are coming out of every situation. We are flipping the focus from every negative thoughts. And again, here we always talk about, we use our affirmations always to work things out. One, again, important thing we always talk about, for every situation, we can always get an affirmation to restate or realign or flip the focus for that situation. Oh, things are not working well. Finances are low. I'm supplied and supported. This month, this year, I'm supplied and supported. Say it until you feel it. Say it 1,000 times. Words are powerful. Words are creative. Again, one other important thing, we cancel the negatives. We stomp out the ants, automatic negative thoughts. They will always come. As much as you're trying to navigate to the positive, the thoughts will just come. We also learn how to say cancel, speak it out the best way you can. It's the mind. The mind will think all things. But as immediately it comes, make sure you're just canceling it. Don't let it take root. Speak the word. This is not who I am. I'm whole, I'm complete, I'm prosperous, I'm abundant. I can do all things. I'm above only. I have the perfect grade. I have the perfect job. I'm walking into my abundance. Everything is right, it's perfect. This is the right time for me to excel. And we surrender this thing. We are surrendering all the things that work against us. We are trading in the lesser ideas for the greater. Always, that is the work we do every time. The mind is active, always. So we are constantly changing those thoughts, flipping the focus. As we do this, it's like stepping into a whole new world where hope and optimism flourish. It's like opening the door to a realm filled with endless possibilities and a renewed sense of purpose. Again, when we flip our focus, we move to where the weight of past disappointments and struggles begins to lift off our shoulders. Something that happens, you focus so much on the good, you focus so much on the divine, you focus so much on the positive, that all the disappointments, all the regrets do not have space within your being to exist. They probably are still there. They are still there, but your focus is so in good, in things working out, that you have no space at all to accommodate all the past. Again, you're giving room for the positive to come in and live. That is choking the negatives in your situation, in your life. And that is what we do. be so engulfed with good, be so engulfed with life, be so engulfed with everything pleasant, good, joy, love, abundance, that lack has no space. It's probably choked out because it's getting no nutrients from you to thrive. So we actively release all of that stuff, everything in anything that represents struggles and the judgments and the pain of yesterday. We just let it out. We release it and continually release it if it ever comes up. Always, always, always. That's the work. Our focus and attention are on the infinite possibility. Again, you focus so much on infinite possibilities that it drives you. It's like an energy driving you, directing you. Now you have no space for hate, for anything bad. And that is where we always want to be, that we are so engulfed with our connection. We are so engulfed with this recognition. We are so engulfed with the truth that we have no space in the totality of our being for anything that will make us look back. And when we do this, we are trusting in the perfect unfoldment of life, trusting spirit within to guide us. And it does that. It's in operation 24/7. It does not sleep. It does not slumber. Anytime. We are always wanting to get into alignment with those divine activity. Activate that is within us. We walk confidently into each new day and each moment, knowing that all is well, that you are supplied and supported. Remember, when we connect with Source, we recognize and we know that we are one with it. And it's a conscious decision to let go of all lesser states of consciousness. Like we always say, it's the work we do. Nobody would do it for you. Nobody would do mine for me. We have to do that work. We have to do the letting go. When those thoughts come in, what do you do? Do you begin to brood over it? Or do you turn your head on the other side? Or you begin to let it out? This is not what I want. I release the past. It has no power over me. Louise would always say, the past, the failures, the disappointments, it has no power over me. Your past records or anything does not control the present moment, cannot affect the present and the future. It will only if you let it. It does not at all. You've heard it before, and we say breakdowns can lead to breakthroughs. But again, if you want it and work towards it, that's also flipping the focus. The universe is moving forward by means of every single one of us. It was Emerson who said that the dice of God is always loaded. Loaded, constantly in action, pushing us forward. Life moves forward and is going to disrupt anything in your life that is holding you back. But we have to align with it. Life is about the expansion of love. All of us are growing in light and in understanding. That's why we gather here to learn, to hear this truth. Like we say and always say, the truth is the truth. You don't need to embellish it. The principles, it does not matter. It's no respecter of persons. If you practice it, you will see the result. If there's any area in your life, in your situation, you think you missed the mark, please understand that these are blessings in disguise, because everything that's happening to you happens for you. Everything that is happening to you is happening for you. There are no mistakes, there are no happenstances. Everything, it's an orchestration by the divine for you to bring you to where you are. It's working out. I like that so much. Working out for your good, for my good. And when we have this understanding, there will be growth. There's power for good in the universe, and you can use it. Let's recognize that today. Enormous power, that each of us have the power to shape our own reality. You do, I do. We have it. We are created with it. But that's why we gather here, to learn how to go on that journey within, to activate that power. If we're not using it, then it's latent power. We want to activate it, to use it. Rumi stated, everything in the universe is within you. Ask from yourself, put a demand on consciousness, and the universe will provide the answers. Put a demand on consciousness. Pull it. Pull it. If you don't pull it, it won't be active. If you don't use it, you won't know how to use it. You won't perfect it. It's only when you seek that you find. When you knock, the door will be open. Anything you don't use is dormant. You know? So when we are in harmony with the universe and we go within the universe, that voice within will always guide us. There is an activity within you. There is that is within you that always knows what to do. You just find that, like I said, the operations of the universe spirit is 24/7. And when we begin to understand how this works for us, the promptings of the spirit, and use it, then we'll know when the spirit is prompting us, go this way, do it this way. Ideas would come in different forms. Ideas come in very diverse forms. And you think, oh, it's just a thought. That's probably the universe prompting you, or the spirit speaking to you. Oh, you're walking through a project or a situation, and you just get ideas. Try this way, and you go to the project's place and try it. Oh, it works out. The spirit works in mysterious, diverse ways. We need to understand this. And when we flip focus and constantly focus, be in the positive, we understand it. You can trust it. You can trust the process of life. Here's the thing. When you really flip or change your focus, not only will you transform your life, that is basic, it will do, but you'll be transforming the way you interact with everything and everyone. It comes from with you, it takes effect on you, and it begins to affect how you see things, how you interact with things. Even things that ordinarily will bother you, you see it and you just, wonderful. You just go by. Because you're not bothered, you're seeing things from a higher perspective. Okay, I just show some scenarios. Say, imagine us waking up on Monday morning and you have a pretty good weekend, and usually you might groan at the thought of a long week ahead of you and a long commute and everything that has to be done. It happens. You've had a beautiful holiday, and work is starting again, and it will seem too much. How do you flip the focus? This might be difficult, but what if this week you decide that it's going to be a different week? What if you meditate and think about it and come up with new thoughts? Will you make a conscious decision it's going to be a much better day? I always say it's a good week. The week is blessed. You're declaring what you want. You decide, I have power, and this is going to be a good week. So if you start out your week, say in the morning you wake up and you sip your coffee, instead of scrolling through your phone, and you decide to look out the window and admire nature and see the good things instead of focusing on the work you have to do. And you notice the way the sunlight filters through the leaves and admire the creature. Or for those that live in areas with trees, you may watch the birds outside your window flying around and hear them singing and hum with them and make melodies. And that's you creating a calm, peaceful day already. Because you're saying, you're flipping the focus and you're restating, this is going to be a good week. This is your decision. Remember, we have the power to decide. It's entirely up to us to do this. We can actually choose peace instead of any other thing. Again, if you decided that this is what you want, you begin to go in that direction. Again, you might, as you're walking down the street, you start to notice the vibrant colors of the flowers that line the path and begin to admire nature. And this can fill us with joy as we witness people pass. Imagine you're walking past and you see a stranger help an elderly person cross the road. That's something that could brighten up anybody's day and remind you that there is inherent goodness that exists within humanity. Remember, this is you trying to take your focus off the work and the office. There is good in you, there is good in me, always. It's about what we decide to put our attention on. Or sometimes maybe you get on the train, on the bus, and you see someone stand for another person to sit. These are things ordinarily you may see and not take notice of it. Because we are trying to take our mind off the things, the burdens, and appreciate the little things around us. So this shift in focus does not, again, like I say, does not erase challenges, but it makes them more manageable. Like I said, you're so filled. I should use the word overwhelmed. No, you're so filled with the positive, with the good, that you choked the negative out of the situation. Like I said, it's all about taking action. It's about embracing the power within you to create a change and a difference. That's the work we do. Always, always. I'll have to wind down. I'll have a quote from Wendell. He's captured the idea. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you change the way you look at things, if you flip the focus, the things you create change. That's the same thing. If we change the way we look at things, if we begin to look at things from that perspective of connection, from that place of alignment, from that place of all is well, the things you look at change. the things you also create change. This reminds us that our perspective is a mighty force capable of transforming our experiences, our relationships, and ultimately our entire existence. I think we should think about this for a moment. When you get into a situation, how do you see things? Do we see that with that new lens of all is well, all is working out for your good? There's so many other things that we do, how to flip focus, but not have time to go into that. I give a few examples. If you're thinking, I'll never be good at this, through our understanding of this teaching, we want to say, I may not be perfect or great now, but with practice, I can improve. We're about flipping focus. When we are overwhelmed with worry about the future, we can practice mindfulness, be in the moment. We stay grounded in the present moment, and that can help reduce anxiety and stress. If you're working, say, on a project or an assignment, instead of seeing it as a defeat, and when the project fails, you view it as a chance to learn. There are experiments. We've learned better ways to do it. So we can always flip the focus in every situation. Say before an important meeting or an event or a medical appointment, we can visualize. Can visualize it working well. And visualize has element of faith in it. You see everything has worked well, and you come from that state of completeness into the now. And that is faith. You've called things that are good into being. Those things that be not into being. Again, on one aspect, we could also call it positive expectancy, and that is what we practice always. So flipping our focus gives us power and control. It's like taking charge of how we feel and think, putting us in the driver's seat of our own emotional and mental health. That's where we are. We control our life. We have absolute control, absolute power. It makes us see things clearly. We see clearly, we think clearer when we flip the focus. It's important to remember that flipping our focus, it's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. We keep doing that because things happen, new day, new moments, new challenges. We have to keep practicing, declaring who we are, who we have come here to be, our understanding of our connection. By doing this, we can turn difficult situations into chances for personal growth. Always, that's what we do. Again, remember that you have tremendous power to change your perspective. And that power, it's not outside of you, it's within you. All that we're talking about is for us to go within and activate that power and use it for your own good. It's a force that lies dormant, waiting patiently for you to awaken it. So we want to embrace this beauty of change and open our mind to new possibilities. New possibilities are possible because we are one with infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. We are one with it. We are connected to that. We have to seek out these different viewpoints that are there. We can always in any situation, anytime, flip the focus. And that's what we're here to do, to challenge ourselves. That situation is not there to destroy you. It's a detour for demonstration. So we want to learn and train ourselves to always see that and know that we can do all things. And so it is.